you're not already, please follow. And I want you to also make sure you're following the young lady that's next to me. I'm going to go ahead and get started. That way I can get her grand introduction that I've been working on all day, right? I appreciate everybody for joining the live. Thank you so much. All right. So if you already know, familia, I'm Amanda C, the community mic. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I want to make a big shout out for tonight's sponsor, Becca Fixes Credit. If y'all missed my interview that I did with Becca, make sure you head on over to my YouTube channel, The Community Mic, and watch it. It's a great interview. You know, starting off the new year with lots of great information, y'all. Credit repair. Tonight we're talking savings, finances, and protecting your family. Again, this is information that we all need as a community, because we need to make sure that we're taken care of, because y'all already know ain't no one come take care of us. We got to make sure we take care of ourselves. So this information is great. So tonight's interview is one you don't want to miss, right? We're going to be talking about something that affects us all: our money, our future, and protecting our family. I'm so excited to welcome Miss Melissa Blue, who specializes in financial services, life insurance, and she's here to break it all down. So she's going to teach us show us and talk to us about how to save smarter, invest wisely, and make sure that your loved ones are protected. So again, stick around. We have a lot to talk about tonight. So again, this is Miss Melissa Blue.
Amanda, it is so great to be with you here tonight in Houston. So shout out to all the Houston people, all my family in Spring, Texas. Also to Beaumont. Hey, yes. Right? That's where my office is at, Beaumont, Texas. Shout out to the Beaumont peeps. But it's such a great opportunity to be with you. I'm so grateful to be here tonight. So yeah, ready to get started. Yes. Just a little bit about me. I have over 12 years of experience in financial services. I work in investments, mortgage lending, and life insurance, and insurance services basically. But I love what I do. You know, I have a passion for what I do. My parents were a big product of our philosophies and what we teach people. You know, my parents were helped 30 plus years ago, and that was a big thing, being Hispanic, hardworking, middle class. You know, my dad didn't have a education, 6th grade education, dropped out of school, but I'm so grateful for the concepts that I get to teach others, just like my parents, that I'm doing now, that they took advantage of that years ago. Because had they not learned, y'all, how to invest, how to have their money work for them, you know, I don't know where they would have ended up financially. So that's my passion, my drive is to help people in the community. And I see how minorities are really struggling big time. It's everyone, but especially when it comes to minority groups, Latinos, and African Americans.
Absolutely. Y'all think I come out the door running? Did you? She came out the door. She's gonna let y'all know what she's here tonight to tell us and to teach us. Great information. A little bit of background about how I know Miss Melissa Blue. Going on 10 years now. Okay, yes. Going on 10 years. She's seen my grandbabies grow. Right, we've kept in touch over the years. Lost connection, reconnected. Right. Yes. And I'm just so grateful to have her all the way from Beaumont for an in-person interview, because just letting y'all know, y'all need to go follow my girl, Miss Melissa Blue, because she's new. She's a little newbie to TikTok, okay, y'all? She's not new to the industry or the financial services, right? But she's new to TikTok.
Yes, so no judging, be gentle, right? But I know the importance. I see it, yes. I'm Generation X, okay, don't hate me. But you know, I see the importance of connecting to people on social media, and I'm here generally to educate, to help people, to get the word out. I'm not here for those clicks, those likes, but at the end of the day, I know this is a way. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how people are using these resources, and there's a better way. I'm going to talk about that tonight too, here in just a second.
Absolutely. So again, we want to make sure you're going and following her here on TikTok. She came all the way from Beaumont, right, y'all? But because she's new to TikTok. But I want to make sure during this interview, you guys are following her on her TikTok page, MABlue32.
Yeah.
Let's remember, if you don't mind putting that in the chat, please, I would greatly appreciate it. Go and follow her TikTok page, MABlue32. Again, she's new to TikTok, but she's not new to the and she's not new to what she's about to help us and communicate with us and teach us tonight, right? So we already got into it, how telling us a little bit about her and what she does in the financial services. So, Melissa, why is it so important for people to know this information, investing, saving, insurance, protecting their families? Why is it so important?
I mean, it's everything, right? When you think about things like retirement, saving for your future, when you think about properly protecting, look, by the way, we're in the month of love, right? Yeah. This is Valentine's month, right? We're getting ready to celebrate that here. I think we put a lot of planning and dedication to Valentine's Day, yes. But look, the month of love, right? You can have life insurance without love, but you can't have love without life insurance. Really, it's your last love letter to your family. Yeah. We don't know our date of death. We know our date of birth. But if you were to write your last love letter to your family before you pass away, it's really by having life insurance, So that's something we're going to talk about. But yeah, time is a commodity. You don't get it back. You're going to spend it. You only get to spend it once. Yeah. And so time is going by. So we've got to take action. We've got to start being more aggressive, giving our finances a lot more attention than what we've been doing. And I have a question. And that's a question. You're probably saying, well, what money? But this year, there's going to be some tax advantages that Fox News put out an article. The CEO of the IRS said, more working people, 66% of people that make under $500,000 a year are going to benefit from some of these tax breaks that people are going to be getting. So you're going to have more money. So where is the money, right? So we're going to talk about that. But it's just really important. It's like having money, investing for your future, protecting the now. It's everything. So it's highly important. And I just see good people. All it boils down to is that they're uneducated. Yes, they're uneducated. Absolutely. That's all it is. Good working, hardworking people, middle class, working the hardest, struggling the most. It's just all about a lack of education. That's Absolutely. All it is.
Absolutely. And it's situations like this, and it's shows like this, and it's people like Melissa Blue who take time out, right, and make this their life, right, yes, and their mission to make sure that we're educated as Latinos, as African Americans. This information is important for all of us, y'all. Yeah, I'm an advocate of having, my stuff taken care of, right?
Oh, yes,
I went way too long without making sure that I didn't have a plan. A plan for my kids if anything should ever happen to me. Being able to speak with Melissa and letting her know, like, okay, what about investing? And, having her work with me to make sure that, okay, this is what you need to do, Amanda, whether you do it or not, it's on you, right? But to making sure that that all families are taken care of. She gives this information to all of us. It's readily available, y'all. It's all about education and what you're willing to learn.
Right, exactly.
So, we went over, the importance of, making sure that we're properly protected. We went over making sure how, you think it's very important for our community to make sure we know what we're doing. What are some common money mistakes you see families making? You talked about they're going to get this money, right? What are they going to do with it? Where is it going? Ahí lo vamos a andar así en el pinche flea market, right? Comprando botas. I want botas, girl. I want some botas, right? I want to go get some boots. But what are we doing with our money? All jokes aside. Right. Let's talk seriously.
Right. One of the things I'm seeing right now, exactly what we're doing tonight, right? We're live on a TikTok. We're wanting to spread that word, the education, to as many people as possible. But you cannot DIY everything. Yes. Okay? I know there's a YouTube video for everything. There's a TikTok for everything. And at the end of the day, I think when, I even think about personal experience. I was telling him, I was like, oh my God, I became even more intimidated getting in front of this beautiful lady tonight. And she said she's known me for 10 years now. I put on some weight. Let's the truth be known. I'm not going to sit in front of this camera. But, when I think about the time that I was, wanting to lose weight and I was doing well in that area, and I'm just using this as an example. When I did it on my own, I wasn't as successful.
Yeah.
Going to the gym, trying to eat better. But when I got on a program, where you're counting calories, where you're in a support group, when you have a trainer, you tend to do better using a third-party service, somebody. So when it comes to the biggest mistake, or a big mistake that I'm seeing in this time, I know we want it quick. I know we think we can do it on our own. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your finances, it's everything. This is your future. Yes. You're not going to get a rewind button. Okay? It's either you do it right now, you're not going to get a second chance. You need a professional helping you. You need a coach. You need somebody that can guide you, that can give you that plan and hold you accountable. Yeah. So the biggest mistake that I'm seeing Amanda, is that people are just trying to take it on their own.
Yeah.
And you cannot DIY your finances. You just can't.
Absolutely.
So-
I 100% agree with the DIY, right?
Yeah.
And doing it on your own. You need
Right.
a support group. You need that
Yeah.
advocate. You need that push.
Right.
And we were just talking about this. You know, I was just telling Melissa Blue the story of how my whole podcast room came about
Yeah.
because I have a BFF who pushes me. And I know
Yeah.
she's in the chat.
Yeah.
She pushes me. Do it already. Do it already. And guess what? I did it already.
Yeah.
And now I'm in my own studio, right?
Awesome. Yes.
I watched, I was
you.
telling Melissa last year, I was watching a video that I recorded last year saying that I was going to be in my own studio
Mhm.
2026 January. Guess what? 2026 January. Because we have that person that she was pushing me. We need that person that's going to say, okay, this is your game plan. What are you going to do with it? Like,
Right.
I'm not really pushing them, but you're guiding them.
Right.
You're not DIYing it, right?
Right.
You are able to access Melissa Blue and ask her all the questions. She's able to guide you and
Yes.
help you through these concerns and questions that we feel as, you know, for me, example, Hispanic Latina, like, where do I go? Who do I
Right.
ask? No para ser pendeja, no para
Right.
preguntar those questions, right? Because who are you supposed to ask?
Yeah, and do me a favor, y'all. I know you love your tío, your tía, the familia, but at the end of the day, you need to be with a licensed professional, right?
Yes.
If I was sick and wasn't feeling well, I'm not going to go see a mechanic to ask him, hey, can you tell me what's going on with me, right? I'm going to go to a doctor. And that's the same thing.
Yeah.
And don't think that having a financial professional is out of reach. For what I do, I don't charge people for my time, So I have all these great companies that back me up. I won't mention them here for compliance reasons. But at the end of the day, it's not out of reach. You don't have to be well off already and have a lot of money. That's another big conception. People think that you have to have a lot of money, Amanda, to seek a financial professional. And that is the furthest from the truth.
Absolutely.
So it's possible. There's no excuses when it comes to this. We're eliminating all those excuses at the end of the day. So,
Absolutely. And like she said, her services, as far as the information that she's giving you, that it's completely free. Make sure you guys are following her here on TikTok. La Dreamer, if you don't mind putting that in the chat, her TikTok tag is MABlue32. She's also on Facebook, Melissa Blue, and you can also give her a call or send her a text message.
Yeah.
If you want that you want that telephone number, send her a DM on TikTok,
Yes.
MABlue32.
There you go.
Or reach out to her on Facebook, MABlue32 here on TikTok. She'll reach out to you. You guys can go over whatever is questions that you have. Maybe you don't want to ask them here in this chat.
Right.
So before we move on, I want to shout out our sponsor for tonight's episode. I want to give a big shout out to tonight's sponsor, Becca Fixes Credit. I interviewed Becca in January. Again, this has been the beginning of January. My whole game plan was getting people in front of people who are able to help them, not only financially, with education, with information, right? That was my goal starting 2026, because I know January I was messaging her or calling her, hey, what does my life insurance look like? Hey, what this, revisiting
Yes.
it, right? You got to, right?
Right.
Even though nothing has changed, but you never know. Address, telephone numbers,
Absolutely.
revisiting that with her. I do that. I'm starting to do that on a yearly basis. Okay,
Right.
Melissa Blue, where are we at? She's known me 10 years already. Y'all know I be bugging. Y'all know I be bugging, all right?
It's a good thing, right? It's a good thing.
I got my mom has it, my sons have it. I want to make sure that we're properly protected and our information stays legit. So starting off 2026, I wanted to make it a game plan to make sure that I put people in front of you guys, people in front of this platform that you can get help from, get
Right.
education, get information, fixing credit, investing, saving, protecting your family, right? That's important for our
Yeah.
community, para nosotros, our comunidad, right? We have to make sure we have that information ready. Don't listen to your tía or your tío, okay?
Yeah.
Porque ellos no saben, right? You got to come to a professional, and her services are absolutely free. Make sure you go and follow her here on TikTok, MABlue32. Any
Yeah.
questions, shoot her a DM. Y'all want to talk, then y'all can, go over telephone numbers and do all that at that time. Also on Facebook, Melissa Blue. So we're going to get into the insurance.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk life insurance. Why is it so important, and when should people really get it?
Man, all right.
I love life insurance,
That's
y'all.
that's a great question. Well, look, so let me tell you what life insurance is all about, and the kind that you really need, the majority of people, right? So I'm also communicating to these life insurance agents out there. We all have to take a state exam,
Yes.
right? It's a proctored exam. We have to go to a testing center to take this exam. So I'm speaking to the life agents, okay? So tonight is the truth and nothing but the truth.
Absolutely.
So life insurance, honestly, y'all, is to protect your biggest asset. Your biggest asset when you're young and you're building a family and maybe you're starting a business, you bought a mortgage, raising kids. Your biggest asset is your ability to make money.
Yes.
So you need the type of life insurance that is going to protect that money. It's an insurance on your paycheck. Now there is one, back to the agents, I'm talking to the agents out there, right? There's only two types of life insurance that exist in the industry. There's term life and there's whole life, okay? With term life, it's the most affordable insurance in the industry, and you're able to, I know that based on my experience with term life, you're really truly able to protect the money you make. So let me give you an example. If you make, let's say, $80,000 a year, at a minimum, you need about 5 times your annual salary. So 80,000 times 5 is 400,000. That's just a minimum, because when you die, your paycheck's going to go away and die with you.
Yes.
Really. That company that you work for is not going to continue to pay your family when you're gone. So you need that type of coverage that's going to protect your biggest asset. It takes time to build wealth. This is what I teach my clients. You invest outside of your insurance, right? Because look, think about it, y'all. Does your homeowner's insurance policy have a savings attached to it? No. Okay. Does your auto insurance policy have a savings attached to it?
No.
Yeah. And then does your health insurance policy have a savings attached to it? No. There's an HSA, that's something separate, right?
Yeah.
I can help you with that too. But no. So all of those policies don't have a savings attached. So why would your insurance have a savings attached as well? So basically what my philosophy is, in the short term, you need adequate life insurance, protect the money you make.
Yes.
For the long term, we need to invest. You need to put away $50, $100 a month. Minimum, everybody can do that. Think of all the things that you're wasting $50 a month on, $100 a month on. I mean, you just eat out a couple of times.
Yeah.
That you've wasted that money, right?
Yeah.
But if you pay yourself first, right, in an investment, not sure if y'all know, let me ask this question. What do y'all think the stock market did last year? How did we close out 2025? Do y'all think it closed out on a positive, that it grew, or do y'all think that it lost money, that it was in the negative? Well, if you answered on the positive, you were right. It grew big time. So if you're not investing, you're losing out on that 15% rate of return, 10% rate of return. So again, it's teaching people, you want to start investing, you want to start a life insurance policy when you're healthy. That's the ideal. You're a risk if you're not healthy. Yeah. That's how all companies, insure people, right? Yeah. It's adverse risk.
Yeah.
And so you want to do it when you're young. It's a lot more affordable when you're healthy. And then you want to invest. Now, the sooner you start, the better, because you'll have time in the market. When we start that up as we're older, now we're against time, right? We've got to have more money to catch up for the time that we lost up. Yeah. But getting a life insurance policy is really, really when you're really building your financial house, when you're building a family, getting those careers going, you really need life insurance at that point in the short term. Long term, you're going to need money.
Yeah.
When we retire and no longer are working and we need all these medications and all of this medical care, you're going to need money. And again, those two things need to be separated, because to all those agents that are out there that have taken the same state exam that I have taken, we know that anytime an insurance policy has a savings attached, Amanda, that savings benefits the company. You either have to borrow your own money. I've seen policies charge 15% or more. So and then when you die, they get to keep the money. So at the end of the day, that doesn't sound fair to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that to a person, but I will give them both the savings, the investment, and the insurance. It's just going to be two separate things, right? And that's the best scenario for for most people.
Absolutely.
Most people.
Two separate entities, and they control it. You're controlling it.
Thank you for bringing that
Yes.
point up, because again, at your job, I meet people. Look, when I ask people, what type of life insurance do you own outside of your job? That's extra. During COVID, there were large companies, I'm not going to mention names, Amanda, but there were large companies that said, hey, we're going to stop contributing towards your 401k during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
There were large insurance companies that said, hey, we're not going to write term insurance during COVID, because you get a term policy for $250,000, $500,000, and you die a week later. At least with the company that we use to underwrite, they're going to pay out. As long as you didn't commit fraud on that insurance application, Amanda, they will pay out after a week of you passing away, 6 months of passing away. So, I mean, you can't have these benefits just like life insurance through your job because you don't control it. You made that good point.
Yeah.
You're out of control in that scenario.
You're out of control, y'all. Y'all don't be out of control, y'all. Don't be out of control. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell from the way she's speaking tonight. This is her passion. This is what she's been doing. I've known her for 10 years, but how long have you been in the industry?
It's been 12 years plus, Amanda. I'm trying to think. 13 years. 13 years.
Wow.
So, I had exposure to this industry when I was young, but, timing is everything.
Yes.
And again, because it was the fact that my parents were helped many, many years ago. But, with timing being everything, I didn't take the opportunity seriously, as serious that I've done, that I have now. But again, hey, it was meant to be and work out this way. So I have about 13 years plus in the industry.
So she knows a little bit about what she's talking about.
Yes.
She's passionate. And I think that's why I keep going back to Melissa Blue for information and for guidance for, like, what do I do? What is the best plan for me at this moment? What are the best plans for my kids and things like that? Because I know the importance of making sure that, I'm protected if anything, God forbid, should ever happen to me, because I want to make sure that no me dejo a los niños así. My kids are grown. But that doesn't mean I still can't take care of them. That doesn't mean that, I still can't be there for them. I have grandbabies. I have 5 grandbabies. And, thankful for Melissa Blue guiding me and helping me, making sure that I keep and maintain my policy right, and helping me hopefully eventually get into some investments and savings. We did that a while, and then, things happen, life happens, right?
Yes, y'all, it does, but nobody's keeping score, all right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's why it's good, to have somebody in, I want to say, my back pocket, like my bag of, I've known so many people that do so many great things, so many women who do so many great things in financial, in wellness, in health. And I am so blessed to be able to see, like, I haven't talked to Melissa Blue in 2 years. Hey, girl, what's going? Like, hey, I'm texting her. I'm an early bird. 6:30. I'm an early bird.
I love it.
I'll text you at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, talking about, hey, girl, this, that, and the other, right?
Yes.
I'm a mess, but her passion for what she does, I think, is what keeps me motivated and making sure that I still continue to take care of myself.
Well, listen, don't give me all the credit, Amanda, because look, like she touched on it really, really briefly. Amanda's a special type of person, and she knows that this is her family. And like I said in the beginning, when we pass away, having life insurance is literally your last love letter to your family.
Yeah.
You may not get the opportunity to actually write a love letter, but by having life insurance, it is your last love letter.
Absolutely.
So you can have life insurance without love, but you can't have love without life insurance. You just can't. Right?
Absolutely. If you're just joining the live, and you're new to this platform, my name's Amanda C, the TikTok queen. Community Mic, let's talk about it. And tonight we're speaking with Melissa Blue. She is a financial guru, right? Saving, investing, protecting your family. We're talking about it all tonight. If you just joined us, make sure you go and follow Miss Melissa Blue at MABlue32 here on TikTok, and also her Facebook page, Melissa Blue. If you have any questions about investing, savings, protecting your family, she is your go-to girl. I've known her for 10 years strong. We can go years without talking, but once I text her or call her, she picks up the phone. She makes sure that she answers all my questions and makes sure that, wherever I'm asking, she's there for me, and I appreciate that. And I want to give a big shout out to tonight's sponsor, Miss Rebecca. Becca Fixes Credit. If you missed our interview that we did last month, make sure you go and follow me on YouTube, The Community Mic.
Yeah.
That all the replays from my TikTok interviews are on The Community Mic on YouTube. I'm super excited for tonight's interview, not only because it's with my good friend, that it helps me through life lessons, right? But this is my first in-person interview.
This is awesome.
And she came all the way from Beaumont, y'all.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal to have, and my room is not even put together. It's not all put together, right? But she's here, and I'm grateful because she's here to talk about things that we need to learn as a community,
Yes.
that we need to stay educated on as a community, because I'm a big, and I'll say this all the time, nobody's going to come and help us, y'all. No one's coming saving us. We have to help
That's a good
ourselves.
point.
We have to help and save ourselves as a community. Whatever information I have, and I know that I may not know it, but guess what? My girl Blue does. My girl Blue will help you, right? I may not know all the answers, but I may be able to introduce you to somebody that does. So
That's phenomenal. It's powerful.
yes,
Yeah.
big shout out to Rebecca Fixes Credit and Miss Melissa Blue for being here tonight.
Thank you.
So, you talk to us, a lot about saving, investing, protecting families, why it's important for you, how long she's been in the industry. You tell us about maybe a day in the life of Melissa Blue.
Okay, awesome. All right. So, my office is physically located in Beaumont. I do have a satellite office out here in the Spring area off of 45 going toward the Woodlands. But, it's all about getting out there in the community. I do a lot of what's called prospecting. If I see you at a store, I'm going to talk to you, approach you, ask you questions. I know it's awkward, but you'd be amazed at how many friendly people are out there. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But just, getting out there, talking to people. I do have a team also, so just working with them. Big shout out. I don't know if I can do this.
Yes,
but okay.
yes, you can.
Shout out to my girl, Marsha Molo
Yes.
in Beaumont, Texas. We are, honoring Black History Month. She's African-American female, has a degree in business, graduated from Lamar University. She just passed her final federal exam to be securities investment license. So she is one of my business partners. She's probably on here tonight.
I hope so.
Yeah. She sent me a picture earlier. I'm like, hey, you just raised the nerves, Marsha. But Marsha Molo, congratulations to her. She's going to do some.
She's on.
Yeah, she's going to do some phenomenal things in Beaumont, Texas. And so, so proud of her. But just, she and I are a team. My husband's on here tonight. My daughter, also Maricela, you might remember Maricela. But, they're also my big support. And, we're just having fun, helping people. It's so rewarding. Look, y'all, and I know this is going to sound morbid, but when you're in this industry, an agent like myself, you get such a good feeling knowing that that widow is not going to struggle financially, and you're able to deliver that check, $250,000 check, $300,000 check. That they're not going to have to struggle financially. Yeah, we can't bring that other person back, that person that has passed away, but at least they have financial peace of mind. See, people shouldn't, your family, going back to the month of love, your family should not suffer the financial death of you. They shouldn't. And so, it's just a lot of fun. Again, I know it might sound a little morbid, but it's such a good feeling to be in that position. I've taken a lot of no's. But for those that say yes, and we've been able to help them, like yourself, who really values your family, it's very, very rewarding, So, but yeah, my husband and I are not originally from Beaumont. We're actually from ATX, y'all. Shout out to Austin. Maybe.
Yes, my little sister moved to Austin.
Oh, really?
Girl,
Okay.
I'm always trying to go to Austin.
I know, awesome. So, Austin it's unrecognizable, but it's just so much fun. And I think when you are passionate about what you do, it's all about making an impact, right?
Yeah.
And so I love what I do. Absolutely.
And I think that's why, again, I keep, I'm, always go towards Melissa Blue or this industry, this company, because I've worked with a lot. I did work in this industry for a while, and it's just an amazing industry because you get. Y'all know me. I like to do everything.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
I like to do everything. But I do remember, having to. When I was an agent, I remember having to deliver my first
Yeah.
Check to a family.
Death claim.
Yeah. I remember that. And, getting that phone call, I remember we were driving back from visiting my son in Chicago. He was out there on business, driving in, and I get a text message from one of the family members, Amanda, done, this happened. I didn't know what to do. Right. Yeah. But that family was taken care of, their kids were taken care of. So I know that feeling, the excitement that you get when you, like you said, you go through a lot of the no's, but you get some yeses.
Yeah.
And those yeses are so important. They outweigh the no's every day, y'all.
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like Amanda touched on, Amanda is a very special, unique person, right? But we can't, at the end of the day, we can't want it more for themselves, right, than what they wanted, right? So it's really, really important. Thank you for sharing that. You're a big supporter. You're a big believer. You practicing what you believe. And that's incredible, y'all. So,
and it's stuff that, again, I want to pass this information down to my kids.
Yes.
My kids know the importance of it. They grew up.
Oh yeah. You just referring to a family member.
Yeah, right. They grew up in this industry with me, right? With Melissa Blue, going to these appointments. I remember I had my grandbaby. My Chiquito, now he's 9, but he was a baby, and he'd sit right next to me, and I'd be going talking to families and doing my job, right? That was my job. And if you get in front of the right people, in front of the right company, your family can be taken care of. And that's why we're talking to Melissa Blue tonight. Make sure you follow her here on TikTok, MA Blue32. Follow her on Facebook, Melissa Blue. She can tell you all about, the protecting your family, investing, saving.
Yeah. Mortgage lending.
Do you auto insurance?
Yeah.
Because I think I got my auto insurance. She helped me with my auto insurance,
you
right?
Told them, that was a game changer.
That was a big deal, y'all.
Save like $80 a month.
Big deal, y'all.
That's a game changer.
Yes.
You understand that? Yes. $80 a month. That's when you annualize that. That's $900 a year.
Yes,
right? That's
exactly. And for me, that was a big deal. I think I text her. I need auto insurance.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was one of my random texts, right? And I text her, and she refers me to the company that they work with. I get on the line, and it maybe took me 20 minutes, and I saved $80.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. To be able to save money, and to be properly protected. She's going to be able to help me, save, right? Invest that money, because that's important, because we want to make sure the long term, right? We're all about present, but also the long term. What are we doing? What is she doing for families for that long term?
Yeah, I just want to kind of expand on that. It's exciting too. I know we're focusing on, you're probably thinking, well, is this talk just about life insurance? No. At the end of the day, when I'm helping parents that I have helped on the investment side to be referred to their 18, 19-year-old children.
Yes.
And they're investing, y'all, $50 a month, $100 a month. Do you know that somebody that has time in the market, right? So somebody younger, if they start investing $200 a month at a 9% rate of return for 40 years, it's pretty much $1 million. So again, starting younger is the ideal.
Yeah.
But if that's not your case, it's never too late.
Exactly.
Right. So it's just making those sacrifices. I'm going to talk about, I think one of your questions tonight is, what is the big financial tip for this year that people can run with? I'm going to share that in a minute. It's really awesome. Okay. But, so you got to hold on, right?
Yeah.
To the end. But yeah, it's just, again, teaching people, to create that wealth. You're going to create wealth, Amanda, by having your money working for you, which means it needs to be invested. And when your money is gaining capital gains and dividends, and that's being reinvested, that is where you're creating wealth.
I love hearing her talk like this, because this is the conversations we as a community need to be having.
Yeah.
Dividends and reinvesting. I
Capital
want
gains,
those conversations,
yeah.
y'all. Don't come over here to be chismosa. Don't come over here to talk about this, that, and the other. Because if you're not talking money moves, or you're not talking bigger moves, or you're not talking growth mindset, then what are we doing, y'all? What are we doing as a community? We need to think bigger, be bigger, do bigger, and do better for the people that are coming after us. It's not too late for us, right? But what we're pushing out with our mouths, what we're regurgitating,
Right.
make sure it's going to be beneficial to the person that's coming behind you. If you ain't got nothing good to say about your community, about your people, about money, about protecting your family, don't come at me with that stuff. Y'all can move on. Y'all move on with that stuff, right? Because we're all about taking care of our community and making sure that we're good.
Yeah, a big emphasis on community. Obviously, y'all see us here tonight. Both Latinas. With the companies that we're partnered with, that I have access to, we don't leave out anyone. Let me elaborate on that, Amanda. We go as far as helping ITIN clients.
Yes.
So if somebody is here, for opportunity, trying to make a living, and you maybe don't have a social right now, but you're working with an ITIN, you can become our client.
Yeah.
In the area of insurance, we've got investment options.
Yes.
So it's a big deal, right? So
It
again,
is.
that's really helping the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, Community Mike. If y'all are new to this platform, I'm Amanda C., the Community Mike. Let's talk about it. I'm interviewing Miss Melissa Blue, financial services, protecting your family, savings, and investing. This platform is all about community. This platform is all about love. This platform is all about growth, education, growth mindset, y'all. If that's what you're looking for, then you're in the right place. Stick around because we have a lot of great interviews. Community Mike does it all.
Yes.
Not only are we putting you in front of great people like Becca Fixes Credit, who is our sponsor for tonight's episode. Make sure you go and follow her here on TikTok, Becca Fixes Credit. But we're talking to Melissa Blue, and you can also follow her here on TikTok, MABlue32. We're all about growth mindset, y'all. We're all about giving back to the community because if it's, we can be here and not contribute. And what have we done, right? My biggest thing is being able to give back to the community, whether it's having you in front of somebody like Melissa Blue. That's my way of contributing, because I said it before. I may not know the answers. I may not know this. I may not know that, but I can put you in front of somebody that does.
Yeah, it's all about being connected. Yeah,
absolutely. So if you're just joining the live, Amanda C., the TikTok queen, Community Mike, let's talk about it. Make sure you're sharing this live. That's the way we can get this information out and the biggest reach. Liking and sharing. Thank you to my moderator and also she's Miss LaDreamer. You have to follow her. She's my media coordinator as well. She helps so much with, social media content, booking interviews. She does it all. She's also, I got a big announcement towards the end of this. Don't let me forget. I want to talk about Don't let me forget, La Dreamer, to talk about that towards the end of the live. But if you're just joining us, Amanda C., TikTok Queen, Community Mike, let's talk about it. And we are talking to Miss Melissa Blue, all the way from Beaumont, Texas, y'all. Big shout out to Marsha, right?
Yes.
She just passed her federal
Series 63 exam.
Series
that was
63
the last
exam
one that she needed.
That's it. She's golden, y'all. So if y'all, know what that is or want information about saving, investing, y'all have two great females, one right in front of you and one that's in the chat. Make sure you go and follow her. If you want to say a little hello in the chat, Miss Marsha. Yes, congratulations to you. Make sure you go and follow her for all your investing and savings needs. I'm putting you in front of people that are giving y'all knowledge, y'all. They're dropping gems tonight, right? Miss Melissa Blue is dropping gems tonight. Make sure you go and follow her here on TikTok and Marsha on TikTok as well, because she just passed her exams, y'all.
Yes.
She's going big. She is not playing in 2026.
Yes. That's a boss lady right there.
Absolutely. So how long have you known Miss Marsha?
Oh gosh, we go way back. Whenever we meet people, she's my sister from another mister.
There she is. Hi everyone. Thank you again. I give all the glory to God. Amen.
Yes, amen. So we've known each other for as long as I've been in the industry.
Yeah.
We've worked and collaborated with the same company. We've been dedicated. It hasn't been easy, but she's an amazing individual. Y'all keep an eye out for her, because she's going to be doing some great things.
Yes, I might have to have her on the live.
Yes, that would be awesome, Marsha. You get to do this.
Yes.
I kept telling her, it was so nerve-wracked coming here, but this has been amazing.
Yeah.
Amanda, you're just so personable and so great at this. I mean, I can see your passion in doing this and helping people in the community. So.
I appreciate you coming all the way from Beaumont.
Yeah.
We'll get you on a live, but you're going to be on your TikTok next time,
right?
Okay.
Yes.
We'll make that a goal. The
Yes.
next time we do an interview here in the next few months, because I don't want to just bring people in and then, oh, never see them again. I would
Right.
love to make a series of, Becca Fixes Credit, her coming on every 3 to 6
Yeah,
months,
that's
right?
really awesome.
You coming on every 3 to 6 months and just talking about how important it is, because just like I'm a big advocate of put your face in the place when it comes to listening to bands and music, you got to put your face in the place, put you in front of people, because if you're not the loudest person in their ear, somebody else is going to be.
You're right about
Somebody
that.
else is going to be like, vamos a pistear, let's go shopping with that extra money, with that extra tax refund, right? Let's go do that instead of really getting education and putting them into a plan to where they can be financially better off on the long run.
Right.
Not instant gratification, y'all. Just like she said, this is not instant gratification. If you really want to make a decision to better yourself financially in the future, it starts now.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Amanda. I'm just curious. Do you have any business owners that you're aware of?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's another. I'm going to get off subject. This wasn't a question.
No, that's fine,
Amanda, that you had for me. That you had for me tonight. But listen, one thing that I'm seeing, especially with business owners, a lot of business owners are not aware of what they qualify for financially when it comes to investment, insurance services. There's a lot of benefits. I like to tell people, look, there's a lot of great information, believe it or not, on Uncle Sam's website, the least favorite uncle, Uncle Sam, IRS.gov. But, the business owners, y'all have a lot of benefits. Your life insurance policy can literally be a tax deduction. Okay. All right. So you got to hit me up on that one, right? I'll explain that to you.
See? What I tell you.
You can own certain retirement plans that give you a tax deduction to your business, not only for yourself, but the business as well. So I come across a lot of business owners, Amanda, that aren't aware of these concepts, that aren't aware of a solo 401k. They're not aware of, your life insurance can be owned by the company and it's a tax deduction. You also, if you have a business partner, this is one of the times where you can insure that business partner where there's not true insurable interest outside of the fact that y'all have a business. So in the insurance industry, insurable interest has to exist. You can only get insurance on your spouse, your children, your grandparents, your parents, grandchildren. I can't get a policy on you, and you can't get a policy on me, right? But that's another big area where I see business owners, they're not aware of everything that they're financially qualified for. So that's another big education piece that I like to really connect with business owners to show them how they can get some tax deductions, pay less taxes, right? Wouldn't you like to pay less taxes?
Yes.
And so a lot of these things that you already need in your finances can also work with you in your business.
There you go. So if you any business owners in the chat, or if you know a business owner, make sure you send them her information. Here on TikTok, MABlue32, and then on Facebook, Melissa Blue. And then you can always catch this replay on YouTube at the Community Mic, where she's dropping some great information about family, protecting your family, saving, investing, and business, insurance, business tax, deductions and things like that, right?
Yes.
So again, it's a lot of great information. Any business owners out there, make sure you share this with them, share her information with them, or catch it on the replay on YouTube, the Community Mic. Okay?
Okay.
So I have one more question for her, and then we're going to kind of wrap this up. We're going to see if you guys have any questions for her. If you do, put them in the chat, y'all. Don't be afraid to ask questions. The worst question or the stupidest question is the one that's not asked.
Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So ask the questions. Ask anything to Melissa Blue. Ask anything to me. We're here for it. So the one last question that I have for Melissa, what's one financial move everyone should make in 2026 to protect their future?
All right. Okay. So are y'all ready for this? All right. This is good. All right. Okay. So, and it's very simple. Stop ignoring your finances.
Mic drop.
Yeah. There you go.
Mic drop.
Because look, at the end of the day, I know it's unpleasant. I know you might have some debt. I know you might be struggling or have been struggling, right? But we're coming into some better opportunities here when it comes to tax breaks and all that. But stop ignoring your finances. When you ignore a problem, it doesn't go away. It gets worse, right? The definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So if you want to look at how your life is going to look like in the next 5 years, if you don't make a change and do something now, it's going to be identical to the last 5 years. And for a lot of people, that's not a good thing.
No.
So my biggest advice, we're in February of 2026. We went through the first month just like that. Time is like a flicker. You've got to do something now. Make that change. Get help. Start asking questions. Reach out. There's so much available to you. There's a lot of great companies like the one I represent, where we're here to help middle income families. But that's my biggest advice is stop ignoring it. Do something about it now, because it's not going to get better and it's not going to go away. Okay.
Stop ignoring your finances, y'all. This was a great conversation that we had with Miss Melissa Blue. If you guys have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. We're going to, we do the end of the night, selfie. We're going to get ready to do that here. I forgot to coach her on that.
Okay.
Oh, no. I forgot to coach her on that. I forgot to let her know that we do an end of the night selfie, y'all. Yeah, she was already nervous coming in here, so now I'm throwing this end of the night selfie. I don't know how she's gonna act, right? I don't know how she's gonna act. Make sure you go and follow Melissa Blue here on TikTok, MABlue32, on Facebook, Melissa Blue. If you just coming into this live, maybe you didn't get to watch it all the way through, go watch the replay that I'm going to upload here in the next few days. Give me a few days, y'all. I'm a one-man show around here. Yeah. Thank goodness for La Dreamer, because she be helping me out with so much stuff. That's awesome. But give me a few days. I'm a one-man show. It'll get up on the YouTube, and I'll let y'all know when it's up. I'll put it here that it's up, and I'll let Melissa Blue know that it's up. Okay. So a quick shout out to our sponsor, Miss Rebecca. Becca Fixes Credit, our sponsor for tonight's episode. Thank you for supporting the community, education, and financial growth. And that's what January and February have been. And I'm so grateful to have had these two ladies come in and speak facts and give you guys information, education that's going to help you grow. Growth mindset, y'all. Just like she said, if you ignore your finances, or if you look at where you're going to be in the next 5 years, look at your last 5 years. I'm not trying to be where I was last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
I'm not. I am not. It's already in my mind, manifesting, doing my prayer the way I do it, right? Making sure that I can be in a place where I know I can be and I should be for me, not for anybody else, y'all. And y'all need to do that with y'all's finances, y'all's savings, protecting your family. Do it for you, because it's going to show to your family. Mira, mami, mírala, what's she doing, right? She's making moves.
Absolutely, that's right.
So aside from letting them know, don't ignore your finances. That's the biggest thing that you can do in 2026. What else would you like to leave our audience with?
Again, we can't suffer from excusitis all of our life, right? There's no excuse, because there's just so much opportunity out there. Opportunities like tonight, and again, I want to thank you so much, because the sponsor, that's another big topic that I want to, my mom said, and I didn't listen to her, y'all, but my mom said at a young age, when I was younger, your credit is everything. Yeah. And it really is. So, but there's just, a lot of great things going on. One thing that we didn't touch on, but I want to give some hope out there to y'all, interest rates, they're working very hard to keep them low. This is going to sound a little, I don't know. It's not negative, but our country has a lot of debt. Let's face it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, they're not going to want to raise those interest rates, because that raises the obligation that we have on the debt, right? The interest on the debt. But that does affect mortgage loans. So this year will be a great year if you're looking to buy a home. Those interest rates have gone down, and they're going to continue to go down. So something to think about. Home ownership is very attainable. Yeah. It really is. So. Just another pointer there, but Amanda, again, thank you so much. This has been great. I knew coming here with you would be so much better for me. Yeah, I don't know. This is my first live. This is what I don't have a lot of exposure, like I said, so don't judge. But we just want to help, and I know that this is a way that a lot of people use social media for a lot of their information. Don't forget what we said earlier. You can't DIY everything, right? But I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. You guys heard it here. All the great information about your finances, saving, investing, and protecting your family with Melissa Blue. Make sure you follow her here on TikTok, MABlue32. Go follow her on Facebook. Any questions, anything at all. She is an open book. She is the realist, right? I'm blessed to have known her for the last 10 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 10 years. And I'm looking forward to her doing her own little TikTok series, right?
Okay.
I know. And I love it, Melissa, because there's a lot of, people that I've interviewed and people that I've known. I used to do TikTok dances with Tejano artists. If you go back in my back in the day, right? Back in the day, I would do dances with Tejano artists or musicians or whatever, and it's their first time doing a TikTok dance, or it's their first time being on a TikTok live. A lot of people that I've interviewed, it's their first time doing a TikTok interview. So I'm grateful because now, the ones that said, they'd never done it before, now they're like all over the place. They're on TikTok and they're posting, and it just like it breaks that, okay, this is another platform for me to share my information, right? It's another platform for you to grow your audience, right? And obviously you want to reach the younger audience because you want to make sure that they start now.
Absolutely.
They start at a young age. 18. Let's get you set up, right? Let's make sure you're taken care of. And this is the platform for that. So.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So I should be paying her. This is awesome. This is golden.
Yes, it's very, very true. All right, y'all. So y'all know what time it is. Y'all stay ready in the comments because we're going to do an end of the night selfie. So after every interview, I have everybody in my comments tell me they're ready. Type you're ready. Because when you're ready, you already know we're going to do our end of the night selfie. I want to be 18. Me too, girl. Me too. Me too.
Right.
Let's take it back. Let's type you're ready in the comments, and we're going to get ready to do our end of the night selfie. So what we do is that I count to 3, we pose, and they take a picture of us, and then they send it to me, and eventually we'll make it a video, right? I'm a one-man show, y'all. Relax, okay? Yeah. It's going to get there. I'll tell you, thank you for a dreamer because, So we're ready. Let's go ahead and on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's go. We're going to do one more. All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yes. You got anything to leave them with? You're good?
Yeah, this is good. This has been great. Thank you all so much, Houston. Thank you so much, Beaumont. This has been a fun night tonight, Amanda. Thank you so much.
Yes, shout out Beaumont, Houston, Texas Spring. Thank you everybody who logged on. My daughter-in-law just logged on. Hi, Angelina. Thank you for logging on. She probably just put the babies to sleep.
Yeah.
You missed a great interview, baby girl, but it's going to be uploaded on the YouTube channel. Look out for it, the community mic. Let's talk about it with me, Amanda C. Tonight we were with Melissa Blue, and she was dropping all the gems. If you missed it, make sure you go and watch the replay on the Community Mic YouTube channel. I appreciate everybody who logged on tonight. Thank you so much. Look forward to next week's interview. We have recap, Rita Cappuccina, right? We have Rita Cappuccina on the next week's live. And we also have Veronica, I think. I think we have Veronica. I'm not sure. Let me look at my phone really quickly. Hold on. She's going to be a really good interview.
Okay.
Yes. Rita Cappuccina, I've interviewed with her before. She's amazing. So we have Rita Cappuccina on the 23rd, Monday. And then we have, Angel. She's a mariachi singer.
Oh, wow.
On the 26th.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry. February 19th is Veronica. You're right. February 19th is Veronica. What day are we in?
We're the 12th today?
Are we on the 12th?
Yeah.
I'm all lost.
Yeah.
Becca Fixes Credit. She just joined the live. Girl, you missed all your shout outs.
Yeah.
So make sure you go and follow Melissa Blue because we were talking about you all night tonight, Miss Rebecca.
Yeah.
So her TikTok tag is MABlue32. Go and follow her because we were talking about you. Thank you so much for being a sponsor for tonight's episode. I appreciate it. If you missed it, don't worry. It's going to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, the Community Mic. Let's talk about it with Amanda C. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you coming onto the live, joining us. Make sure you send me your screenshots, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.